Yeah, no, honestly, when they first got here, they didn't have a legit one person helping them out. It was just like, there was so much things that needs to be done. As you can imagine, you
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
English, your school was interrupted by the Civil War. So it's not that we're intelligent, but, they had
Right.
challenges,
Right.
all immigrants, had challenges, trying to, get adjusted to society. So I think, you know, I just know for a fact, talking to my parents and talking to other immigrant parents that, came around the same time my parents came, how
Yeah.
tough it was just to have folks, really have their best interests at heart and get them through, like, how do you get a green card? How do you get ID? How do you, get a mailbox? You know what I mean? How do you, verify, your identity and where you live and all these other things. So I'm just glad that 20 years later now, like, us as youth are trying to pay that forward for our parents.
Right.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Diving into that though, what was your experience like in school? That language barrier obviously was tough. What
Mhm.
was it like just making friends and just, the regular school stuff?
Yeah, honestly, for me, man, great question. I think what I realized growing up was it was very tough to feel welcome in school. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was always a witty kid, so I like to joke around, but I also like to take school serious, and I had a good balance. And I always would like to I seen all my other fellow peers, get to read in front of the class and, participate and just be very happy and joyful. And for me,
Right.
I felt like a little bit of that wasn't there for me growing up because, again, struggling to speak English, it was also hard to make friends as well. It was hard to communicate with my teachers. It was hard to really have that full experience, that us as young kids have. And, I used to go to my mother all the time. I would cry, like, Mom, it's really tough. And my mom, thanks to her, I'm very appreciative of her having my support. She would actually volunteer with me
wow.
from Head Start all the way to like first grade. She would actively participate a couple times a week to make sure that I felt welcome, and that I felt like I
Wow.
was seen. So
Yeah.
she was a big support system for me, and she would assure me that things would get easier. I just had to stay patient, and she had my back. Yeah.
Were there others, kids from Somalia that immigrated as well that kind of were in your same like situation or?
Yes, I remember growing up. I had one good friend, and she's also from Somalia. Her mom would also come too. You know what I mean?
Oh, I
Yes, I
see.
think her mother and my mother, knew the importance of how big that was for us as kids.
Absolutely.
Because we were already
Yeah.
struggling. So yeah.
That's cool. So when did it kind of click for you? When did you start to feel like you kind of got a sense of belonging and found a community there in Tukwila?
Great question. I think so I gravitate towards leadership. It's funny because I'm the oldest of 8 kids.
Oh,
So I got
okay.
one brother,
Yeah.
6 sisters. But again, it happened slowly over time,
Right.
So it was me, then my brother 98, then my sister 99, like, you know what I mean? And so for me, I realized that I gravitated towards leadership because it started at home first. It started from being the eldest,
Yeah.
setting an example, getting the whoopings, you know what I mean? I had to, get it right,
Yeah.
And the first leadership thing I ever gravitated towards was actually being a patrol officer. So when I was in the 5th grade, I had the vest on. I was, helping kids cross walk, in the streets with their families, with their parents.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I felt like I was, I felt like I belonged in the school.
Right.
I was being a patrol officer, and then I loved the concept of being a leader and being involved. So I started to get more and more involved as time went on.
Were you ever like in a situation where you were running for class president later on in school or?
Yes. So in high school, I actually ran to become a school board representative.
Oh, okay.
So I got to work in the school board district, and I actually got elected to be a school board rep. So I
In
did that
high school.
in high school. I did that for 2 years.
Wow. So what does
Yeah.
that mean to be a school board representative?
Yeah. So it was honestly, it was like being an elected official just at a young age.
Okay.
So I got elected when I was 16. And so I got to see what goes behind the school district, like education and policies and budgets, with a lot of, grown white folks, so I got to learn
Right.
the ability to be patient and find my niche, so I could just try to better represent my peers in school. So
Is
yeah.
it is that position like a peer type of position where they elect representatives that are within the age group of the students?
Yes, I think
Okay.
they do that intentionally because young folks, they want to get young folks involved,
Yeah.
Sure.
to have a seat at the table because it doesn't always make sense if adults are making decisions for young folks. You need
Yeah.
a little bit of balance.
Yeah.
So I think the district had been doing that for a couple years at the time, and it just so happened to be the year that I did it. It was the most competitive process, as far as like electing somebody, and that's when I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. And once I got that, that was the first time I ever believed in my life that I could do anything I set my mind to.
That's
Wow.
confidence,
That
man.
is
That builds
confidence.
confidence.
Yeah.
What was that process like? You said it was
Yeah.
competitive. Were you elected by students, or was it kind of like a mix of people?
It was an interview process, so it's like applying for a job.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
gotcha.
I got interviewed by the school board members that have been there for years and decades. And yeah, it was, you have to find a way to stand out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to, confidently believe that I'm enough. You know what I mean? I feel like I've proven enough. I've done enough in the community. I've done enough in the school. And yeah, I went against a lot of smart people, man. I started comparing myself to them, and as I gotten older, I realized that comparison kills all joy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just be confident within you,
I
and
love
then
that.
you let where the chips fall.
That's powerful.
Hey, wait, don't leave yet.
Hey, if you're still watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, and that notification bell to stay tapped in.